Welcome to the channel. Today we begin a journey that can change your life. Not through luck, not through magic, not through pretending problems don't exist, but through understanding one powerful truth. Your brain can be trained. And when you train it for optimism, you change what you see, what you believe, what you attempt, and ultimately, what you attract into your life. This is the story of rewiring your mind. This is the science of hope. This is the practice of designing your brain for optimism so you can attract the life you truly want. The hidden power inside your head. Before we talk about attracting the life you want, we need to understand something fundamental. Your brain is not fixed. For centuries, people believed intelligence, personality, and emotional patterns were permanent. But modern neuroscience tells a different story. Thanks to neuroplasticity, popularized by researchers like Norman Doidge, we now know that the brain rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and experiences. Every thought you think strengthens certain neural pathways. Think negatively every day. You strengthen the threat detection circuits. Practice optimism daily. You strengthen the opportunity detection circuits. Your brain becomes what you repeatedly think. Psychologist Martin Seligman, founder of positive psychology, discovered that optimism is not just a personality trait, it is a learned skill. That means if you were not raised optimistic, you are not doomed. You can train it. And when you do, everything changes. The story of two minds. Let me tell you a story. Two people lose their jobs on the same day. Person A letter says, "I knew this would happen. Nothing ever works out. I'm not good enough." Person B says, "This hurts. But maybe this is a chance to find something better." Same event, different interpretation. And that interpretation determines action. Person A withdraws, avoids applying, procrastinates, and spirals. Person B updates their resume, reaches out to contacts, learns new skills. 6 months later, their lives look completely different. The event did not decide their future. Their brain's narrative did. This is what Carol Dweck calls mindset. A fixed mindset sees events as verdicts. A growth mindset sees them as chapters. Optimism is not ignoring pain. It is choosing empowering interpretation. The reticular activating system, your opportunity filter. Inside your brain is a network called the reticular activating system. It acts like a filter. If you decide to buy a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere. They were always there. You just weren't noticing them. When you train your brain for optimism, you program your RAS to notice opportunities, helpful people, small wins, creative ideas, signs of progress. But if you constantly expect failure, your RAS highlights rejection, threat, embarrassment, obstacles, proof you're not enough. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as your brain filters it. So if you want to attract a better life, you must first adjust the filter. The science of attraction. When people hear attract the life you want, they often think of mystical wishful thinking. But real attraction works through behavior, emotion, and perception. Optimism changes your posture, your tone of voice, your willingness to try, your resilience after failure, your creativity under stress. Researcher Barbara Fredrickson discovered the broaden and build theory. Positive emotions literally broaden your thinking and build long-term resources. When optimistic, you see more solutions. You take more action. You connect more socially. You persist longer. That's how opportunities are attracted. Not magically, mechanically, psychologically, biologically. The life-changing shift from victim to creator. One of the biggest transformations in life happens when a person moves from, "Why is this happening to me? What can I create from this?" This shift is radical. History is full of people who transformed suffering into power. Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, wrote that even in the most horrific conditions, humans retain one freedom: the freedom to choose their attitude. That choice shapes destiny. Optimism is not naive positivity. It is disciplined perspective. Practical lessons to rewire your brain. Here are life-changing practices. Audit your self-talk. For 1 week, write down negative recurring thoughts. Then challenge them. Is this fact or assumption? What's another possible explanation? What would I say to a friend? Over time, you weaken destructive circuits. Practice future visualization. Elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders use visualization. Imagine how you stand, how you speak, what your daily routine looks like. The feeling of success. Your brain cannot fully distinguish vividly imagined success from real experience. It strengthens neural pathways accordingly. Gratitude as brain training. Gratitude is not politeness. It's rewiring. When you list 3 things daily that went well, you teach your brain to scan for positives. After 30 days, you'll notice your mental filter changing. Act before you feel ready. Optimism grows from evidence. Take small, bold actions daily. Send the email. Start the workout. Launch the idea. Have the difficult conversation. Action builds belief. Belief builds identity. Identity builds destiny. The compound effect of optimism. Tiny daily mental shifts compound. 1% more hopeful daily gives massive change in a year. The same brain that once looked for rejection begins noticing collaboration. The same mind that expected embarrassment begins noticing growth. Over time, you take more calculated risks. You build stronger relationships. You recover faster from setbacks. You develop emotional stamina. Your life trajectory bends. A story of transformation. Consider the story of someone stuck in a toxic cycle. They wake up anxious, scroll social media, compare themselves, feel behind, avoid starting, end the day discouraged. Then one change happens. They begin journaling nightly. They challenge one negative belief daily. They start walking 20 minutes each morning. They visualize confidence before meetings. 3 months later, anxiety decreases, energy improves, social confidence rises, opportunities increase. Nothing magical occurred. Their brain changed. And because their brain changed, their behavior changed. And because behavior changed, their life changed. What optimism is not? Let's be clear. Optimism is not denying pain, ignoring injustice, avoiding hard conversations, pretending everything is fine. True optimism says, this is hard, but I am capable. It combines realism plus agency. That formula creates power. The identity upgrade. Eventually, something subtle happens. You stop practicing optimism. You become an optimistic person. That identity shift changes how you introduce yourself, what risks you accept, who you surround yourself with, what standards you tolerate, and when your identity upgrades, your environment follows. Because people respond differently to confidence, hope, direction, resilience. You don't chase the life you want. You grow into it. Design the mind, design the life. If there is one lesson to remember, it is this. Your brain is a garden. If you plant fear daily, fear grows. If you plant opportunity daily, opportunity grows. The world outside often mirrors the world inside. So ask yourself, what thoughts am I strengthening? What narrative am I rehearsing? What identity am I reinforcing? Train your brain for optimism. Strengthen empowering interpretations. Take small, brave actions daily. Over time, you will not recognize your old life, because the most life-changing transformation does not begin with external success. It begins inside your mind. And once your mind changes, Everything else follows. If you're still here, it means something inside you is ready to grow, ready to shift, ready to become more than the patterns you inherited. We've talked about neuroplasticity, mindset, identity, and daily practices. Now we go deeper. Because designing your brain for optimism is not just about thinking better thoughts. It's about transforming how you experience reality. The emotional set point and how to raise it. Every person has what psychologists call an emotional set point. It's the baseline mood you tend to return to after good or bad events. Some people bounce back quickly. Others stay low for long periods. The powerful truth? Your set point is not fixed. Research in positive psychology suggests about 40% of our happiness is influenced by intentional activities, what we practice daily. If you constantly rehearse stress, comparison, and worst-case scenarios, your emotional baseline lowers. But if you rehearse gratitude, solution-focused thinking, and purposeful action, your baseline rises. Imagine waking up not with dread, but with quiet confidence. That's not luck. That's conditioning. The confirmation bias trap. Your brain has a built-in tendency called confirmation bias. It searches for evidence that confirms what you already believe. If you believe, I'm bad at relationships, you'll notice every awkward moment. I'm unlucky, you'll highlight every setback. People don't respect me, you'll interpret neutral comments as criticism. But here's the breakthrough. You can flip confirmation bias in your favor. Start asking better questions. Where did I show strength today? Who treated me with respect? What progress did I make? The brain answers the questions you'll repeatedly ask. Change the question. Change the focus. Change the evidence your brain collects. The language you use is programming code. Words are not harmless. They are neurological instructions. Compare these two statements. I'm terrible at public speaking versus I'm learning to improve at public speaking. One shuts down growth. The other activates possibility. Language shapes identity. High performers instinctively use growth-oriented language. You'll hear phrases like, "This is challenging." "I'm working on it." "I'm improving." "That didn't work. What can I adjust?" Subtle difference. Massive impact. Start replacing, "I can't, I haven't yet." "I always fail" gives, "This attempt didn't work." "I'm not confident" gives, "I'm building confidence." Your brain listens to every word you say about yourself. Make them empowering. The story of resilience. Let me tell you about someone who faced repeated rejection. They applied for promotions, rejected. They started side projects, failed. They pitched ideas, ignored. For years, nothing seemed to work. But instead of saying, "I'm not meant for success," they asked, "What is this teaching me?" They adjusted. They learned. They improved. They kept showing up. Eventually, one opportunity landed. And because of all the past preparation, they were ready. Optimism is not blind belief. It is sustained effort fueled by possibility. Even Michael Jordan famously said he missed thousands of shots and lost hundreds of games. But he reframed failure as feedback. Optimism allowed persistence. Persistence created greatness. Environment, the hidden force. You cannot design your brain in isolation. Your environment programs you daily. The people you talk to, the content you consume, the conversations you entertain, the spaces you spend time in. If you are surrounded by chronic negativity, cynicism becomes normal. If you are surrounded by growth-oriented thinkers, ambition becomes normal. This is why leaders like Jim Rohn often said you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Audit your environment. Ask, does this conversation expand me? Does this space energize me? Does this content elevate me? Design your inputs. Your outputs will follow. Optimism during crisis. It's easy to be optimistic when life is smooth. The real transformation happens in crisis. Optimism during crisis looks like seeking solutions instead of blame, looking for learning instead of shame, asking for help instead of isolating. During global challenges, economic shifts, or personal loss, the optimistic brain asks, what is still within my control? That question restores power. Even in extreme hardship, people who focus on controllable actions recover faster emotionally. Control your effort. Control your preparation. Control your response. And you reclaim agency, identity-based habits. One of the most powerful shifts happens when you stop focusing on outcomes and start focusing on identity. Instead of, I want to be successful, shift to, I am becoming someone who shows up consistently. Instead of, I want confidence, shift to, I am becoming someone who speaks up. Each small action reinforces identity. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathway. Eventually, effort feels natural because it matches who you believe you are. The optimism action loop. Here's a powerful loop. Optimistic thought gives brave action, gives small win, gives stronger belief, gives bigger action, gives bigger win. Most people wait for confidence before acting. Optimists act before confidence. Confidence is a byproduct, not a prerequisite. The more you act, the more proof your brain collects that you are capable. Proof reshapes identity. Identity reshapes destiny. The danger of learned helplessness. Research has shown that when people repeatedly experience failure without control, they can develop learned helplessness. They stop trying, even when opportunity appears. Optimism breaks that pattern. Instead of, nothing works, you say, what else can I try? Instead of, this is pointless, you say, there must be another approach. That shift alone prevents mental paralysis. You move from helpless to proactive, and proactive people change their circumstances. Visualization plus emotion equals powerful rewiring. Visualization works best when paired with emotion. Don't just imagine success mechanically. Feel the pride, the relief, the gratitude, the confidence. Emotion signals importance to your brain. It says, this matters. Strengthen this pathway. The more vividly you rehearse a powerful future, the more familiar it becomes. And what feels familiar feels achievable. Rewriting your personal narrative. Every person carries a life story. Some stories sound like, I've always struggled. Nothing works out. I'm behind. I'm not talented. But you can rewrite the narrative. You can't rewrite the narrative. Instead of, I've always struggled, try, I've developed resilience. Instead of, I'm behind, try, my journey is unique. You are both the author and the narrator. Rewrite wisely. Attraction through energy and presence. When your brain is trained for optimism, your presence shifts. You make more eye contact. Speak more clearly. Listen more fully. Radiate steadiness. People feel that. Opportunities often flow toward those who feel stable, capable, and forward-focused. Not because of magic, because humans are drawn to confident energy. Your internal state broadcasts externally. The long game of optimism. This transformation is not overnight. It's daily, quiet, often invisible, but powerful. One day, you'll notice. You recover faster from setbacks. You assume success instead of failure. You try things you once avoided. You speak differently about yourself. And that's when you realize that your brain has changed. And because your brain changed, your life changed. Designing your brain for optimism is one of the most life-altering decisions you can make. You are not your past conditioning. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your current limitation. You are a brain in progress. Train it, guide it, feed it, challenge it, and watch how your world expands. Because when you truly desire your brain to be optimistic, you don't just attract a better life. You become the kind of person who creates it. Stay with the journey. The best version of you is still being built. As we bring this journey to a close, take a moment to breathe. Think about how far you've already come, not just in life, but in awareness. You now understand that your brain is not fixed. You now understand that optimism is trainable. You now understand that what you focus on expands. Designing your brain for optimism is not about denying pain. It's about choosing power. It's about waking up each day and deciding, I will interpret this in a way that strengthens me. I will act even when I feel uncertain. I will build evidence that I am capable. I will become the person who attracts growth, opportunity, and purpose. Your thoughts shape your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions. Your actions create your results. Your results build your life. And the beautiful part? It all begins inside your mind. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not limited to your past patterns. You are capable of rewiring. You are capable of rising. You are capable of attracting the life you once thought was out of reach. So start small. Stay consistent. Guard your thoughts. Challenge your limits. Choose empowering interpretations. One day, you will look back and realize the biggest transformation didn't happen outside of you. It happened within you. And once your mind changed, everything else followed. Keep building. Keep believing. Keep becoming. Thank you.